friends, I'm Betty Rage, your favorite nerdy goth mom, and this is Lashes and Lore. And today, we are diving headfirst into the cosmic horror that really gets inside your head. The Mind Flayer. Yes, pun intended. Gets inside your head. Anyways, the Underdark's most scandalous secret. Because if you've ever wondered who is pulling your strings, it might just be a tentacled overlord from another dimension. We're talking ancient psionic horrors who see your brain as breakfast, your free will as a suggestion, and your very existence is debatable. Nothing says trauma like realizing that your thoughts aren't even really your own. So let's dive back into the Underdark and talk about the Mind Flayers, these tentacle-y little folks. If you were wondering what kind of darkly alluring secrets that I'll be slathering all over my face today, you'll find a list of all the products that I'm using in the description below. Because even eldritch horrors deserve a full glam moment. Alright, so where did these brain-eating, mind-controlling fashionistas with terrible table manners come from? Well, I'm here to tell you that their origin story is steeped in cosmic tragedy. That's arguably the biggest secret scandal in all of the multiverse of D&D. That's right, the tea is piping hot, so have a seat. Thousands of years ago, the Illithids were not just a terror, they were a dominant power of the inner planes. From their vast astral domains, they commanded flying vessels called nautiloids. These vessels were capable of crossing between planes. This allowed them to harvest intelligent humanoids from hundreds of worlds. Yeah, that's right, I said harvest. You thought I was joking when I said they wanted to eat your brains, huh? Spending a lot of time on the eyebrows today. They ruled with psionic might, reducing entire population to thralls of brain food, convinced of their own intellectual, evolutionary superiority. So basically the British. Anyways, their empires were built on the backs and brains of countless slave races. Most notably, though, the Gith. The Gith provided the physical labor and sustenance. They were living under the brutal psionic yoke of their tentacled masters. It was a reign of terror that spanned centuries. An oppressive regime built on absolute mental domination. So, again, the British. But here is where the scandal truly erupts. After eons of unchallenged rule, the Mind Flayer empire collapsed in less than a year. The Gith somehow discovered a weakness and rose up in a devastating revolt. They slaughtered their masters, that reminds me of a Machine Head album, and destroyed almost all traces of any Illithid and their astral domains. Can you even imagine the gossip in the other planes when this news broke out? The ultimate masters of the mind were undone by their own slaves. Karma's a bitch, right? So yeah, this cataclysmic event left the Illithids at the brink of extinction. But I mean, kind of serves them right. Ooh, she real pink. Okay, we've committed to pink. Woo! It scattered few survivors to hide on the material plane. And that's where, deep within the Underdark, isolated clutches of Mind Flayers remain in hiding. Paranoid of the discovery of the vengeful Githyanki and the Githzari, which are the two factions that arose from the victorious Gith, who literally actively hunt them down. That's their job. Hunt, find, kill, Mind Flayer. Oh, the life of a Gith. The grand plan of our Mind Flayer friends in the Underdark now to rebuild their lost empire through secrecy and insidious plots, all while trying to desperately avoid their former slaves. Talk about a fall from grace that echoes through the plains. Right, so now if you thought that their biology was unsettling, wait till you hear about their society. Spoiler alert, it's worse. Mind Flayers don't really do democracy. No, babe, they operate on a horribly efficient communal structure that puts any corporate ladder to shame. Their entire existence revolves around one central pulsating and utterly monstrous entity called the Elder Brain. And their appearance is instantly recognizable, we'll say. They're about 6 feet tall with hideous mauve-colored skin, we'll say glistens with slime. Their heads are bulbous and octopus-like with 4 tentacles writhing around. They have a many-toothed mouth. Is that how you would say that? Many-toothed? Well, that's what I'm gonna say. They have lots of teeth. Basically, they're just like something out of your worst nightmare. And they only have like 4 fingers. So like 3 reddish fingers and then a thumb, which I probably didn't have to say, but I don't know what you were thinking. I'm trying to paint a picture, a mental picture here, and I'm doing a great job, okay? Anyways, so the real scandalous truth about their existence lies in their reproduction. It's not glamorous. Ceremorphosis. I think that's how you say it. Anyways, they reproduce by laying clutches of eggs, like some reptiles. And out of those eggs hatch little tadpole-like creatures, reptiles or fish, one of those. But these little tadpoles are kept in a briny pool with an elder brain, which feeds on them. But some survive to maturity. You know, evolution, only the strong survive, and Darwinism specifically. So when those tadpoles survive into maturity, they then need their own victim. So then what do? Well, that tadpole is then inserted into a humanoid's cranium, usually through the nostril or the ear canal. So then, over the course of about a week or so, the tadpole has then devoured most all of the humanoid's brain. And it replaces it with the Mind Flayer's tissues, merging with the body to form a new Illithid. The original's host's thoughts and memories are usually lost and actually just replaced by the newly formed Mind Flayer and their conscious. So that's the part of today's story where we talk about a glow-up gone horribly wrong. Right, so while we're on the topic of incredibly horrifyingly disgusting things, let's talk about their diet. Illithids subsist primarily on the brains of intelligent humanoids. These intelligent humanoids' brains, they provide all the special enzymes and hormones and psychic energy. I just Bob Ross the shit out of my eyeliner. Because, you know, there are no mistakes in makeup. You just turn them into happy little trees. Anyway, so back to the grubby little grossies. When the Mind Flayer devours a brain, it's not just sustenance. They also acquire stray memories, personality fragments, and fears from their victim, which they can in turn share with their colony. So before you say it, yes, they literally are eating your thoughts and feelings. It's the ultimate invasive dinner party. And your thoughts are the main course. Living deep in the Underdark for millennia, they've become sensitive to sunlight, finding it painful to endure. And while their tentacles are strong in close combat, their most terrifying weapon is their mind. All right, so let's dive a little further into the Elder Brain, because we have to, if we're going to talk about this. The Elder Brain is not just the leader. No, at the heart of every single Illithid community is an colossal monstrosity of brain tissue that typically is about 10 feet in diameter, floating in a briny pool. And this Elder Brain isn't just their leader, it is the living repository of knowledge and psionic powers of generations of Illithids before it. So what does that mean? Well, every Illithid, upon their death, upon their physical death, has both the right and the terrifying obligation to join the Elder Brain. Their individual minds and personalities become one with its gestalt consciousness. So yeah, when the Mind Flayer dies, it doesn't rest in peace. It goes and becomes one with the hive mind, forever contributing its thoughts and experiences to the collective. So, if you thought that mandatory team-building exercise that your boss made you do last week was rough, think again. Maybe this provides a bit more perspective. The elder brain is in constant mental contact with all of the Illithids. We're just going to put a lot of this on. Yeah, we're just all of it. So, the elder brain is the ultimate puppeteer. It directs all of their actions, absorbs all of their memories, and it plans all of the colony's insidious future. And nothing's a secret. It can scry through the eyes of any sentient creature within range, especially if that creature is psionically dominated. So they seem to have this hierarchy pinned down, right? Well, who does all the grunt work in this horrifying empire? And that would be the thrall. These are not just charmed victims. Oh, I got it in my eye. The process of transforming a creature into a thrall requires intense psionic conditioning. It also means that a thrall's former personality is typically wiped completely clean. It's replaced with new memories, proficiencies, and a fanatical loyalty to the elder brain. They essentially become empty shells, husks of what they once were, then rebuilt to serve the colony's every need, whether it's manual labor, no thanks, protection, or, of course, becoming a handy mobile snack bar. And honestly, anybody could use one of those, but maybe not brainwashing people to do it. The Illithids vastly prefer humanoids as the thralls, due to their physical attributes, proper anatomy, making them really the perfect spies, since that's not anyone's usual first, thought when they meet somebody new, that they're being controlled by some hive mind. Although you'll look back and you will see there were signs. There were always signs. Mind Flayer society is driven into two overarching goals: the relentless pursuit of knowledge and the insidious desire to rebuild their lost empire. They truly believe deep down that they are destined to control all sentient life forms. And their horrifying, utterly ruthless society is literally built to achieve that. And while their tentacles are certainly present, the true horror of a Mind Flayer isn't really their physical might. It's their mastery of psionics. This raw, psychic energy, the power of the mind unleashed. This is a very pink blush. Do not go overboard. It allows them to dominate, manipulate, and shatter sanity in ways that traditional magic rarely can. Their signature attack is the infamous Mind Blast. It's a terrifying wave of psychic energy that they can magically emit in a 60-foot cone, and any creature caught in that blast must succeed on an intelligence saving throw or take massive psychic damage. No, the one damage, we always make sure that we have things to, combat. I was in a campaign one time where literally everything was psychic damage. It was rough. Anyhow, if you take that psychic damage, you can be stunned for a full minute. A minute. I said a minute, not a round. A minute. That could literally take you out of combat altogether. So I recommend maybe creating some home rules around that so people can still play. Anyways, if you are stunned for a whole minute, this leaves you completely vulnerable for the brain extraction ritual. Yeah, sounds yummy. So basically, it just means like your brain just short circuits, which I think happens to me like 3 or 4 times a day. But yeah, but it's not just the psychic energy that you have to be worried about. They're also masters of telepathy. This allows them to communicate directly, mind to mind, never having to say a word out loud. And not just, to people they know, to any creature that they can see within 120 feet. Talk about screwing with people. They're not like just sending you a love note from across a field. They do this to infiltrate your thoughts, to read your surface emotions, and subtly, without you even knowing, plant suggestions, making you question if that brilliant idea was even really yours at all. Or did some tentacle overlord just whisper into your subconscious? It only gets better because they can levitate at will, adding to their eerie otherworldly presence. It doesn't even stop there because they're mind-blasting, stunning, telepathy-using, levitating. I'm levitating. They also can dominate creatures, which means they take complete control of that creature's actions, turning them into unwilling puppets that don't have a choice. It's the idea of your own body turning against you. Maybe that's what happens when I turn a corner and run right into it. Either that or I have the depth perception of a goldfish. The idea of your own body turning against you just to attack your friends, a special kind of trauma that only psionics can deliver. They're also escape artists. They can literally plane shift to escape danger or invade new worlds. So now they're interdimensional threats as well. These psionic powers are not just spells. They are an extension of the Illithid's very being, a terrifying extension of their alien intellect. Every mental intrusion, every shattered thought, every forced command is a stark reminder that when you face a Mind Flayer, your greatest enemy isn't completely outside of you. It's the one who's trying to hijack your brain. So what is it that's driving these brain-eating psionic puppet masters? It's not just about surviving. It's about a chilling, long-game ambition to dominate everything. Their ultimate goal is nothing less than to rebuild their lost Illithid empire at whatever the cost, including your own brain. They want to create a multiverse where every sentient creature serves as a thrall or becomes some kind of delicious meal. Talk about a problematic vision board. They believe that they are destined to control all sentient life forms, viewing all other races as livestock or tools to achieve their grand design. At least they're focused on one thing, but their relentless pursuit of knowledge is controlled by this one goal. They seek out forgotten magic, alien technology, and any arcane secrets that can give them the edge in their cosmic conquest, of course. Every single piece of new information is a brick in the foundation of their future tyrannical empire, and central to this ambition is their feud with the Githyanki and the Githzerai. I think I said that wrong earlier. Oh well. Remember the Gith, their former slaves that rose up against them and shattered their empire? Well, the Illithids have not forgotten, and neither have the Gith. The Githyanki actively hunt the Mind Flayers across the plains. They are seeking vengeance, while the Githzerai are working to prevent their resurgence. This creates a perpetual multiplanar war that constantly is threatening the Illithid's plans, which is making this paranoia a core part of their everyday unexistence. Their master plan often involves infiltrating societies, subtly taking control of key figures, and slowly, insidiously converting populations into their thralls through the ceremorphosis, creating a new colony piece by piece. They value subtlety and long-term manipulation. They got that long game on lock, and this is valued over brute force, weaving intricate webs of influence that only reveal themselves when it's already too late. So when you encounter a Mind Flayer, understand that you're not just facing a monster, you're standing in the way of cosmic destiny, a chilling version of the multiverse under tentacled rule. And honestly, isn't that just the most scandalous secret of all? And so, my little glitter goblins, why would any sane adventurer want to cross paths with an Illithid, with these brain-munching masterminds? Because encountering Mind Flayers offers a unique brand of horror that goes straight for your deepest fears, loss of self. They aren't just monsters you can hit with a sword until they drop. Facing Illithids is a deeply psychological challenge. Their primary weapon is their mind, so brute force is often not enough. Every encounter with them is a tense, paranoid dance as they use telepathy to infiltrate all of your thoughts, plant subtle suggestions, and sow discourse within your party. The horror isn't just about getting your brain eaten. It's about the insidious realization that your own mind can be turned and used against you, that your free will is meaningless. This kind of slays. Ultimately, facing Mind Flayers forces players to confront the existential dread of insignificance, the terror of mental infiltration, and the chilling reality of absolute alien evil. Surviving an encounter with them is not just a victory, it's a profound, often traumatizing, triumph of the mind over the monstrous. And honestly, isn't that just the juiciest kind of victory? And we have our final look. I like it with my purple hair because I had a hair appointment yesterday. You guys don't care. So there you have it, my little glitter goblins. Mind Flayers, the Underdark's most scandalous secret. A journey into the terrifying, tentacled truth of D&D's most insidious cosmic horror. If this descent into Illithid society has sparked a dark curiosity in you, then you should check out this video I did over here on Call of Cthulhu. I'm Betty Rage, your favorite nerdy goth mom, and this is Lashes and Lore, where the lore is deep, the eyeliner is deeper, and the mom hugs are free. Be good to each other, love each other, make good choices, and as always, free mom hugs from me to you. Bye. I'll see you next time.